What are some common first-time homebuyer mistakes that I see happen regularly? Over the last 10 years, I work with quite a few different types of buyers and investors and sellers, and whether it's their first time home or their fifth or sixth purchase. The first time home buyers, there's some common mistakes that I see happen regularly. One of them is waiting to get pre-approved until after they find a property. I feel like I have this conversation at least 2 or 3 times with a home buyer that's buying their home for the first time. I completely understand you want to wait to, kind of get started and get your credit pulled until after you find a home that you like. However, after doing this for roughly 10 years, you're almost never going to be able to buy that property, because by the time you see it, you like it, and you start the process of getting pre-approved, 99% of the time that property is going to be gone. There might be a couple exceptions for that, but I wouldn't plan on finding a home that I really like and then hoping that that's around by the time I get pre-approved. So waiting to get pre-approved, that's the first common mistake that I see happening, mainly because they just want to do less work before they find a property. They want to make sure that they can find a property before officially starting the process, and then waiting to get their credit pulled. But that's definitely the first common mistake that I see happen quite a bit. The second mistake is thinking that they know everything about the real estate transaction and what happens next, and sometimes that can cost them money. It's kind of like, sometimes the freshmen have the biggest egos over the being a senior, freshman coming in, and just kind of thinking that, hey, this is, I've already been here, I kind of know what I'm doing. A little bit of that same attitude is that sometimes if a buyer has done a little bit of research online, they can kind of feel like, okay, I got it. Now it's always good to do research online and to have a little bit of a head start, but sometimes by having that attitude, it can cost you money, and potentially your realtor might just kind of let you, if you're kind of stubborn and just kind of have the blinders on, they'll just let you kind of go, and I have seen that cost time and money and sometimes properties because of that. And lastly, this one isn't necessarily only for first-time home buyers, but just buyers in generally. A common mistake is being emotionally offended and emotionally involved with the negotiation process with the other side. So sometimes it can come across very offensive as the seller is countering, and whereas we're negotiating back and forth. And so a common mistake I see is people getting offended and saying, you know what, I'm out of here. I'm offended by what, they might not say I'm offended, but I'm offended by what the seller's doing. I'm going to go find a different property. Now, you have every right to do that. However, if you like the property, just remove the seller, for a minute. If you love the home, you love the neighborhood, it's exactly what you're looking for. My counsel would be, forget the seller. They're just trying to do the best that they can do and get the most amount of money with selling their house, just like we are trying to get that same property for the least amount that we can pay for and to still get our offer accepted. So they're just countering. Those are two opposite situations there. So that's the third mistake, is don't get personally offended as we are negotiating back and forth. Just know that the seller is doing their job just like we're doing our job, and we're trying to make that work. If you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out to me.